UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Uganda Extra. Thank you so much for being with us right from the hour of 6:30. Those that started your day with us in Good Morning Uganda. Just to remind you, every weekday 6:30 is when we begin that live broadcast. The Fantastic Four, of course, with a very big team behind the scenes. Those on camera are technicians that make it possible for you to see our faces and, of course, hear from us. So it is a very interesting show. There's so much of spicing up your mornings, brightening up your mornings with some bit of jokes, light moments, but yet very informative. So if you want to start your day very informed, knowing what is happening locally and internationally, you cannot afford to miss Good Morning Uganda on UBC TV. Once again, I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, and today I'm basically dealing with issues of security. And even my guest in this hour happens to be, that is a senior superintendent of police, Haguma Jime, and we are going to be discussing a crime that many families, many people have tasted. Some have lost money, some have lost lives, some have lost property, some have had everlasting damages because of this crime. It is fairly new in this country because based on cyber and technology. And we'll be looking at cyber security in the fourth industrial revolution. Now, when we talk about cyber, it automatically means we are going to have issues of technology and all that, and industrial revolution, where now our country is, because even when you listen to our president, industries, we are pushing for this, and that is why I have a senior police officer to help me discuss this. You're most welcome to our studios.
Thank you so much. Good morning, first and foremost. Thank you, Chirabo, our host. Those who are watching us from wherever you are across the diaspora, thanks to technology now, people must be streaming online across the world, so we are no longer limited. I am Senior Superintendent of Police, Haguma Jime, from the Directorate of ICT, where I head electronic countermeasures. I'm glad to be here and thank you so much for hosting me.
Well, now that clearly explains that I have the right person to discuss this topic with, not just a senior police officer, but aiding that electronic desk where we see most of these crimes happening. But to begin with, let's go into simple definition. Don't go to you people of IT and all that. Please don't talk about gigabytes, but when you talk about cyber crime or cyber security, what are we referring to?
Thank you so much, Dabo. First and foremost, many times people think that cyber crime is cyber security. But actually, cyber crime are those offenses, those contraventions of the law, those issues that go against certain laws of any jurisdiction of any country that has defined what we call crimes in technology. These are the things we used to do many times without technology. People would still break into the bank with a bullion van and maybe with weapons, but now they sit back and can use technology, can manipulate technology, can use those who have access, those who have the keys, passwords, if they share them, or even those who can go behind the scene and be able to penetrate into your private confidential information.
The hackers?
The hackers. And they take away lots of your private data. So this is the crime. Now, when we talk about the security, we come into the aspect. First and foremost, our Constitution, Article 212, mandates the police to protect life and property, but also to detect and prevent crime. And the others, Section 4 of the Police Act also goes ahead to fortify the same. Now, if we look at the laws that have been passed, one of them is the Computer Misuse Act of 2020. It was amended. Now, in there, they are talking of the crimes and how you can be punished. But then we have a policy as a country, the National Cyber Security Strategy and the National Information Security Framework. So we are talking of the holistic or the methods that we can use as we enjoy this technology in the Industrial Revolution. How do we navigate? How do we go around technology in a safe manner, well knowing that also criminals are waiting in that same space? So that is where the cybersecurity culture we are talking about, and you hear words like the cyber hygiene, cyber poverty line, your limited level of knowledge in such elements. In other words, if you are not informed, you are not empowered. And if you are informed, you would have avoided certain tricks or tactics of these criminals, of these penetrators and hackers, if you are well informed. So that's the security we are talking about.
Now here we have cyber security in the fourth industrial revolution.
Yes. And someone may be asking, why the fourth? What is the first? And when if we are to run through this, because society has been growing. In studies, we talk of issues to do with the political economy, digital economy, and so on and so forth. Now, when we talk about the fourth industrial revolution, going backwards, we have the first, where we are talking of machines. We are using simply steam engines, we are using wood, and then the discovery of coal. And in the second industrial revolution, that's where now we see electricity. People are discovering power and energy, renewable energy. And then in the third, we are talking of now what we call the internet, where people are now using digital platforms. But in the fourth, it's more of now interconnection of devices. It's no longer about my phone for calling. Way back, Mr. Chirabo, maybe you would only use your phone to call and text, SMS. Now, with the comfort of your phone, you can shop. With the comfort of your phone, you can take photos. You don't have to have a phone and a cameraman at the wedding. With the comfort of our phone, we can actually tell our health, our heartbeat. Just here you have a smartphone connected to my mobile phone. That is what the fourth industrial revolution talks about. So when we appreciate this landscape, we understand that devices are now interconnected. And that is how we bring in this aspect of cybersecurity.
Why is it so important at such a time?
At such a time, why is it very important? First and foremost, we are looking at now what we call the single digital markets. As we are embracing the East African community, as we are embracing interconnection and integration, even in our operations as security, we are no longer saying it is a standalone, police alone, the army alone, these agencies alone. No, we are saying joint. Why? Because we are also mirroring the fourth industrial revolution. For you to take a holistic decision, Chirabo, you go on to a search engine. This search engine, say Google, when you punch in a particular word, it searches various sources. For us to make smart decisions, we must be able to understand the fourth industrial revolution. Because countries and evolution has gone, we are now talking of the 4G, 5G. We cannot run away because technology has moved. So where do we now as police stand? We are no longer policing per se the physical people. When we talk of our population, probably we are approximately now 45 million or 50 million as we go on. But if you as Chirabo, when I talk about your identity, you are no longer the Chirabo, the physical Chirabo here. There is the Jime here in the studio. But there are many Jimes online. I have my email, that is my identity. I have my Facebook account, that's my identity. I have WhatsApp, I have a Snapchat. Now, research done by Cisco in 2021, they were projecting that we shall have over 50 billion devices. World population about 7 billion. Now, 50, that means in Uganda alone, if we are talking about one person could be having about 7 accounts, 6 SIM cards. That's the interconnection. That means that the work of policing can no longer be on just the mean foot soldiers. We must also move into that space and understand what are the challenges, what are the threats people are facing, how do we protect ourselves, life and property at the same time. Yes.
Well, it is a very complicated area. One, technologies change so fast. Software changes so much. Rate at which apps are being developed is also very fast.
True.
Gadgets, every time they're modernizing what you had today. Now for law enforcers, that seems a very hard area to go into. And this, allow me ask you, how prepared, how well equipped is police to match with the current pace at which this technology is developing, and of course then the criminals also advancing?
That's a very nice question, and many times it is asked, and you can never say that we are equipped 100%.
Yes.
It is a moving target. Cybersecurity is a moving target. As you update today the patches of Microsoft, someone else is producing another patch. As you are acquiring this antivirus, there is another virus being developed. So what am I simply moving? Our capability is depending heavily on research. Research, development, and innovation. And as the police, we have already set up one of the modern centers, the ICT hub, which is in Chikandwa. Maybe you'll find time to visit it. That's where we have said, first and foremost, we cannot just only say we are equipping ourselves with equipment, with arsenals. No, we must equip our brains. We must train. The other element of equipment goes into synergy. We have now said it is no longer only police. And recently there was a forum by CEOs. There have been discussions by the banks with this crime investigation, crime intelligence. You are seeing that now the police is embracing the community policing approach, but in form of collaboration. And what we call meaningful engagements with the different stakeholders. I believe from the industry here, you call yourself the fourth estate. Now we are also talking of the fourth industrial revolution. And actually in the fifth industrial revolution, where we are talking of now the intelligent world, it's no longer about the digital world. How do you embrace artificial intelligence? How do you embrace machine language? You can train your own phone to inform you that, please, you have been on this game for long. Stop what you are doing. Go and play a game outside. We are dealing with the human aspect. Now, the other element of how prepared we are is first and foremost establishing a department of electronic countermeasures, which has been already in place way back, but now adapting to an element of not just looking at how do we pursue criminals, but how do we protect, how do we empower those who are already in this fourth industrial revolution with knowledge on how to get better. The other bit, of course, has been the laws that have been passed. Recently, they have amended the Computer Misuse Act. That simply shows you that even the law itself needed to adjust. Now, this also goes into what type of technology are we using. You have seen the now harnessing of the CCTV cameras. But that's not sufficient. Introduction of even systems which are smart. Smart products that will tell you this vehicle passed here on this day. That will be able to inform you that the number of crimes in this area is attributed to this, and that. Now, that's where we are integrating. If you have been following, there's what we call the UG Hub, where now we are integrating systems with other players. It's not about our systems alone. Systems of URA should talk to police. Systems of this bank should talk to this. Integrating social cameras, that is what we are now talking of. Interconnection of infrastructure. And of course, the last one is we are cognizant of the fact that a chain is as strong as its weakest link. Simply saying that even if we are equipping ourselves and the people who are using these technologies are not equipped, we are talking of our own children. You and I, probably. We have children. They are now embracing technology in the education sector. Children are using phones. So how are we prepared to manage these children? Do we have even facilities to listen to children? And when you allow me, I'll tell you of one scenario I experienced of a young child who really was... should I talk about it now? Probably.
Please.
Okay. We've had scenarios now. Children are using smartphones. They're on WhatsApp. My own children, they are on WhatsApp. But how do we protect them?
Tabs have become tabs.
Yes.
Every parent, you must buy tabs,
gadgets, internet at home, Zoom lessons. You are just arriving at home, you have a Zoom meeting. Probably because you are talking to people in the global north. It's no longer about a physical space. It's no longer about a physical police station anymore. People want to approach you from the comfort of their home.
Yes.
We have introduced the NEC, the National Emergency Call Center. But people still want to see, how can I send a policeman an email? I don't have to walk to CPS. So we are now saying, can we also adapt? Now, this young child was approached by an unknown person on WhatsApp. And this person says, hi, I like you. Oh, I like you. Because, you know, today you can sleep, Chirabo, and you wake up when you're on 6 WhatsApp groups.
Yes.
And once you leave, they will know you have left, and they will bring you back. But you have the comfort to also block. But because we are social beings, social networking societies have made us become, you are controlled by these gadgets. Every time there are even addictions happening. So this child, fast forward, is asked that, really, if you are my friend, show me that you are a real girl. Now, fast forward, this individual sends some photos which are very provocative, nude photos, and then says, also show me photos that you're a real girl. Once this girl shows them, this person says, now I need money. I'm going to send these photos to your auntie. And she sends them to the auntie, sends them to the teacher, because we are in a social network. We are no longer, your phone is no longer yours alone. Once this phone is on the internet, it means I have handed it over to the World Wide Web. So now this person was being demanded. They were demanding 500,000. And the teams that are investigating are pursuing these particular people. But interesting enough, they were using a number of another country, because now you can come with a SIM card of another country, connect on the internet, and you can chat. So someone may think Chirabo is chatting with me from Canada, when actually you are here in Uganda.
Just in the next room.
Because of the one network and the connectivity, it's no longer about limitation of borders. So in other words, even us as parents, how do we caution our children? How do we talk to them in a way that we don't stress them? You wake up in the morning, you are seeing an accident, someone's body parts are all on the road. People are no longer sympathetic. They are interested in recording how this dead body is looking like and sharing across. So how much stress, how much information are we being exposed to? And these are the challenges of cyber psychology also. So we could go on with the conversation and on. But in a nutshell, that's what I could say.
Well, good enough. Uganda Police is also ensuring that it matches with the times as we talk about cyber security in the fourth revolution. What is very important here to note is, and I know now most of our viewers are waiting to know how best they can protect themselves. Because at some time when I'm on my phone, I'm even tempted to think this is a necessary evil. I don't know. Because like you talked about waking up, you're in so many WhatsApp groups. Sometimes you post something on Twitter, anyone has the right to respond. Either they are informed or they are not informed. No expert opinion, but someone, either they feel they want to diss you off, bash you off, express their hunger and anger upon you. Like, well, but that is the way to go. We moved into that. We can't have a setback because the world is a global village. Now let's look at how one can protect themselves against this. You have given us a good example of a child. I want to tell you that even people who are earning a living because of the insecurities that we don't know how to protect ourselves. Someone simply gets something very small, merges here and there and says, I'm sending this to your better half. If not, brother.
Yes.
Hey, there was one tycoon. He made men was like, but how do you help me out? You had a relationship with this person. These images were taken out of goodwill. Now, because it ended 2 years down the road, she's saying 500M or the entire nation, and the world gets to know who you are.
Yes.
Like, now, how do we start this over? So how should one protect themselves?
Thank you so much, Chirabo. And those who are watching us, I wanted just to track back a bit on the issue you talked about when you wake up and you're in so many groups, then come to the house. There is something we call FOMO. FOMO, the fear of missing out. Now, this one of the engagements we are taking on as Uganda Police is engaging with academia. One of our colleges, the Police Senior Command and Staff College, we have signed MOUs with other universities, not only here in the Global North and Global South. We are saying that there is this addiction that comes with these gadgets. And these gadgets have been designed that you should not put it down. The developer of this software is saying, don't put me down. When you get onto this link, you should not stop. The famous TikTok, you know, you come in the morning and you're just on one video to another video. Before you realize, 2 hours are gone.
Yes.
When we were still young, UBC would switch off at some time, and now UBC doesn't switch off because they have also embraced the fourth industry. The news bite, everybody is interested. Kacha Kaliwo, what is the latest? Now we have what we call aggregators, web aggregators like Opera and others, Phoenix, that pick different sorts of news. But the element of this is marketing and advertisements. And sometimes we have what we call mal-adverts. Some of these are looking like juicy adverts, but in the long run, they lead you to click certain things. So the first thing we want to talk about is, first and foremost, on that device that you are using, do you have a password? And again, some people have said, no, if you are married, why should you have a password? The question goes back, why do you have a padlock? Why do you lock your house?
Thieves can come in.
Exactly. I mean, you are saying, why even some people lock the bedrooms? In the house, you lock the bedroom. Now, there are some security precaution in there. Sometimes you may lock your bedroom for your children and they get stuck and you can't rescue them. But there are some control levels. You have bought a nice TV in the house, but you have gone ahead to put burglar proof. Sometimes it looks ugly, but you're trying to control as much as possible. So we talk about the passwords, which are a level of authentication. Now, in the fourth industrial revolution, we are not only talking about what we call two-factor authentication, but we're talking of multi-factor authentication. Sometimes you may, for some critical information, you have a password, you have a biometric, you have a pattern. Why are we talking of this? Because the information on these devices, once they are on the internet, it can be accessed by other people. Why we go on the internet? Not that the internet is bad. It is to enable us to ease transaction. In the fourth industrial revolution, when we talk about health, how do you integrate the health industry with the transport, the ambulance system? How do you integrate it with security? How do you integrate it with energy? Now we are talking of the outer space. Uganda, recently we set... Our scientists have...
And the satellite is
we
there.
are now saying, how do we also secure the outer space? So passwords are very important. The other aspect that is very key of all is how much information have I put online? Give out what you are able to lose in some elements.
Repeat that for...
Give out what you are able to lose. And it will not cause you a lot of damage. If these are private things, if these are confidential, how much are you sharing?
I love the word give out.
What you are ready to lose.
What you're ready to lose.
Yes. If in other jurisdictions, they have what we call declassifying. By the time they push out information, they have already weighed the risks. We many times say, I have received this photo, but I don't want the other person to know, but let me share it with you. Now, because of the FOMO and the inching, when you see a photo, now someone shared this. Recently, WhatsApp upgraded and now added a tag which is called forwarded many times. This is an image which has been shared over and over and again. One thing we have to know that when you are on the internet, when you are on these spaces, cyber spaces, you can be exposed. So how much of your confidential information are you willing to give out? The other element we always want to encourage people is that let us, as much as possible, ensure that our devices are updated. And this one may be a bit technical, but you find that you have never done updates of the software you are using. These updates now, software is like going to service a vehicle. You cannot drive the vehicle from months and months and months without servicing it. They wear and tear. Now, if you don't do updates, those are the elements that can be exploited.
Because some devices will show you update software.
Yes.
Update this, update that.
Yes. However, it is also, sometimes they are called honeypots. Some of them are not real updates. They are actually malicious updates. That brings me to the element of being informed. Train yourself or receive training. receive knowledge. We are talking of the cyber talks, cyber culture, cyber hygiene. It's a good discussion that regularly, even you sit with your children, we have children. How much do you tell your children? You tell them, I don't want you to be on YouTube. But have you ever explained to them, what is the problem with YouTube? How come for you, you are on it? I visited one school I may not mention, and a young child said, but why is it that things for the old are nice? My sister watches a movie of 18 years and above, and I see it's nice. Hours are boring. This simply tells you that age is simply a number. Our children of this generation, which we call Generation Z and Y, millennial, a child of 6 years is highly informed, maybe better informed than a person who is 25 years. This child knows many things because they are bombarded with lots of information. So how much do you sit, first of all, in your own family, at your workplace, to discuss the risks? When we share, we learn. I want to talk about a few minutes. There's a book I've read, Leadership is Gold, by John C. Maxwell. He says a wise person is the one who learns from his mistakes. But a wiser person is that one who learns from mistakes of others. And the wisest is the one who learns from the success of others. It's good to compare. You are not the best. Consult. Consultation is very critical. If you have failed today, maybe like this story of this young girl whom I was talking with, now to me I have learned from their weaknesses. But who are those who have succeeded? Where are these people who have made it in life? Security is not 100%, but we keep improving with the situations around us.
Well, very interesting.
Yes.
With the officer I have, that gadget before you, now I'm very sure you know it's not only all about bed of roses, waking up, knowing this and that, laughing at others, but it can also be a very big danger to you. And we've been discussing, he's been giving us some of the tips, how best you can ensure that you protect yourself. And one of the things that's caught my mind, give out what you are ready to lose. And if you lost that, then you know it's not of so much impact to you. But sometimes I think we overgive information. Sometimes we overexpose ourselves. Yet the world is evil. There's someone there waiting for that moment as they're scrolling around, and then they get to know you're in some of these groups. Out of excitement, give out anything. At one time, it catches up with you. But allow me to go for a short break. I'll be returning, and still we shall be focusing on cyber security in the 4th Industrial Revolution. We'll return shortly.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
The Resol Agribusiness Show is here under the theme Revolutionizing Agriculture through Value Addition, Innovation and Technology, scheduled for 13th to 16th June 2023 at Ohinga Stadium, Fort Portal Tourism City, with a free medical camp running throughout the show. Entrance is totally free. To sponsor, partner and participate, contact 0702 301 059 or 0773 458 492 or 0773 301 059.
So when you pay your taxes, you are investing in the future of Uganda.
Uganda Revenue Authority. Developing Uganda.
Kyebagala ogamba nti sente URA ezetukuŋŋaanyamu ze zimala okukola ebintu bino byonna, enguudo, amasomero n'ebintu ebirala. Muzeyi, aba abasajja basoza sente nyingi nnyo olaba nti boda boda banzako emiliyoni aga.
Miliyoni ana?
Miliyoni ana zowa boda.
Olowooza atunda okutunza emmere wa restaurant.
Nyabo, sigo wa restaurant. Muceere, nyama bisi. Bw'oba miliyoni nkaaga.
Eki?
Kati ataniza alina kawushibe n'akabaala. Muzeyi, kati ate gw'ofudde mufi. Kiki?
Leka nawo. Lekera okulimba. URA era omusolo gwe bayita presumptive tax. Oba guyita omusolo ogwafa oba business obutono obuyingiza okuva ku miliyoni 10 paka ku 15 obutasukka omwaka.
kati olonze banategeera bati nyingiza yange
anti oba olina okukuuma ebitabo byonna byonna ebikwata ku bizinensi yo ate ekyangu kwe kugenda gwe kennyini n'oba ensooka n'obatwalira ebitabo bino ku ofiisi yaabwe eza URA ezikuli okumpi awo ne babeera nga bagerekera omusolo omutuufu
ekitegeeza bali olina kwetega beetege
kyekyo bwe beetege bweteze osirike era bwe ate bakulimba nnyo kubanga ate mu ababoda mulina sasula emitwalo ejja
gwesebu obadde oyogera ebigambo nga babikunyumiza bunyumiza n'otulimba abantu abakulu wamata kutunyonyole
URA ekujjukiza okusasula omusolo gwo ogwa presumptive tax. Guno gwe musolo ogusasulwa abo abaddukanya bizinesi entono era gusinziira ku nnyingiza ya bizinesi yo nga gusasulwa omulundi gumu buli mwaka gw'ebyensimbi. Genda mu ssimu yo onyige kamunyenye 285 kadaala oba sasula ng'okozesa mobile money oba mu bank oba kozesa ba mobile agents. Uganda Revenue Authority, tukulaakulanyize wamu Uganda.
Where does it come from? That thing that makes us Ugandan. That thing that makes us different from everybody else. Where does it grow infinitely? Some say it's in our history, in our culture, and in our hearts, in our warm smiles and vast miles of coffee, dairy farmland, and amazing maize fields. It's in our inherent pursuit to always be better, to never stop growing and glowing. So you see, we are more than just a waving flag. We are a nation of sweat and skills, a nation of ideas and inventions. But what truly makes us Ugandan is our quest to improve the quality of life for Ugandans by creating sustainable jobs, businesses, and improving household incomes. That's what makes us Uganda Development Bank. Uganda Development Bank, inspiring development.
The Magical Egypt Tour 2023 is here. A heavenly miracle waiting across the natural and divine attractions of Egypt, such as Cairo, Giza Pyramids, Saqqara, Memphis, and many more that will offer the gift of a lifetime. The chance to unlock all of the hidden powers of mind and soul, gain the enlightenment of the past and the future, and develop the power of healing. Departure will be Friday 16th up to 23rd June 2023. Basic package starting at $1,200, 8 days and 7 nights. To register, come to Gotove Tours and Travel at Nalkwago Complex Suta, UG Sexten, George Street, Nakasero, or call +256 758 530 059 or +256 784 568 392 or WhatsApp +256 782 556 078. Only few slots are left. Powered by UBC Television.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break. Indeed, it is a very interesting conversation that is happening here in Good Morning Uganda Extra. Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono with my guest who happens to be that is an officer, senior superintendent of police, and we are discussing cyber security in the 4th industrial revolution. And of course, it comes from that particular. Let's look at electronic crimes. And like we said earlier, this gadget is very good, but can cause a lot of trouble for you, including death, the worst being death. But also sometimes you can land in crime that you're not part of. And according to what is available, you're the key suspect beyond reasonable doubt. So how do we go about that? Well, that is what we want to look at in this next hour with my guest. Now, when you talk about these insecurities, let's look at the various common crimes that are likely that as police you've registered more, and also how are these being done?
Thank you so much, those who are again watching us on the Good Morning Show. Thank you, Chirabo. We'll first want to categorize these types of crime. After we've talked about how to secure yourself, we cannot run away from the fact that these crimes are happening. You cannot 100% say, I have kept myself safe. The question we are always saying that you are only a few minutes away from being hacked. You are a few minutes away. Actually, we don't say own, we call it pawned on technology. You have been owned. You have been hijacked. One of these sophisticated crimes we are talking of is ransomware. Coming from the element of being held ransom. Way back, people would be held ransom. Someone holds, attacks and seals off a building and says, I need so much money, or else I'm going to take the life of these people. There was a time where there was a wave of kidnaps, and thanks to the able leadership that security were able to destabilize those groups. But now we are talking of ransomware, whereby you are working on your computer. You then, as you're working, something pops up. There's what we call a pop-up. And because some of these are enabled in your computer, the pop-up comes, and as you're working, you say, what is this? Maybe a message comes in that, click here to win $1,000 for a trip to a country X. And you, as you're working, you're exhausted, you click on that. Now, because of that, you fill in a particular form, and then before you realize, they are telling you, your computer is under our control. You try to click, you can no longer work. You try to log in, you have been taken over, and probably a message comes in, you have been compromised and owned. Now, ransomware is critical and targeting especially institutions where there is money, institutions where there is health information. In countries like the US, they had what they call a WannaCry. It was called WannaCry because a system was compromised and you cannot check the health status of your patients. Imagine a scenario whereby the information about a health patient is flipped right side down. The one who is sick, it shows he's okay. The one who is okay, it shows he's sick. Because we are depending on the Internet of Things and robotics. Medical surgery is now done by robotics. We are talking of in your own vehicle, when you sit in, it can actually tell you that you are stressed because of how you are breathing, because of how you are looking like. So that interconnectivity of equipment poses one big risk, and that one has been a threat to even the financial sector. And that is why recently Uganda passed a law called the National Payment Systems Act, whereby it was meant to deal with threats in the financial sector, the fintechs and so on. Because now banks, you no longer have to walk to the bank which is miles away. Those days you would ask, is there a branch in Boyogere? I'm going to Boyogere. Is there a branch? You no longer have to ask. I don't know when I last visited
when it was fees payment.
Yes,
now
lines and lines. I no longer when I last walked to a bank.
Yes.
Now with school pay, with pay platforms, thanks to technology. But the argument here is, supposing these systems are taken and compromised. The other crime we're talking of is the crime that targets the minors. Our own children have now been penetrated. Way back, if people are using technology for research, I was surprised that you can go online and you find a video how to tell lies to your parents. And some young child is
how to kill your dad.
How to kill your dad, okay? How to maybe jump over a particular room. How to do things. Now, these are people have set up. TikTok itself has videos which are not regulated sometimes. Whereas there is good, there is also the bad in this. And unfortunately, we always want to see how much can I see this bad video without being caught. You click, there are games people are playing, gaming, addiction, game addictions, that someone wants to keep gaming every single day. Now, the minors are being targeted, one, with what we call damage on their thinking process. And this is a psychological challenge. That now a person, a young child, looks at the world in a different view. Looks at their mother like as if she's different. Young children, young boys of 8 years, they are now looking, almost being taken up, looking at their sisters in another way around. We're talking of people who are planning, how do I steal information? But we also have what we call the bullying, which we call cyber bullying. Someone is online, a young child, and you are being told you are useless, you failed your exams. A child is crying because he or she got 95% and their friend got 100. In our time of school, if you get 70, you are talking on top of the world. Because of the pressure and the competition, these children are bullied, these children are molested. And what about privacy? On our gadgets like this, we have cameras. There are some applications that can actually turn on your camera. If you are using your phone, maybe in your washroom, your photo is taken. That's why we are cautioning you, if you are using your phone on your bed, please make sure that the environment is safe. Recently, during the bulge of COVID-19, there was now the Zoom and so on. People were holding Zoom in their bedrooms. You forget to turn off your camera, you go somewhere and you come back and people are wondering, hey, this person, what is he doing? So we are talking about...
I saw a number of diplomats there.
Yeah, you are in a
hey,
suit.
put on.
You're in a suit and in a pyjama down. But because you think you're in your private room, but because of this gadget, these young children are being exposed. Let's now look at, there are other crimes in the financial sector. The Computer Misuse Act has defined one of the offenses. Section 19 talks of the electronic fraud. We are having the increase of mobile money related frauds. Because now you no longer have to move with physical money anymore. People keep money on their phones. 5 million, 3 million, you pay for TV, you pay for Yaka, you pay for what? Tickets. You no longer have to have... Actually, of late, someone, you find him and he has no money, but he has electronic money. Now, the criminals are targeting that money. So one of the challenges here is the crime of electronic fraud, mobile money fraud. What about now? Your money on your phone is linked to your bank. That means there's a thin layer between crossing from one door of the bank to the bank.
Well, Afande, time is running so fast.
Yes.
But having known all this, it raises concern. Because when we talk about mobile money, I think I'm one of the people who survived being frauded, where someone sent and said, this person is in hospital, do this, send money to this number. But now let's look at, how do I verify my device?
Yes, that is
how do I ensure that at least fairly I have a good gadget and it is safe enough?
Very good. Thank you very much. Now, there's been this element of our devices, our mobile phones. How do we ascertain? First and foremost, all these phones we have got a number.
Okay.
They have got a unique number, which we call the serial
number.
The serial number. And there is the one single famous USSD code. USSD is a term for the... Now, I don't want to go into technicalities like
please
star,
don't.
what, and so on when you are checking. So if we are checking this particular, to know the serial number of this, those who press star hash 06 hash. If you press star hash 06 hash, quickly you will be put onto a menu that shows you the serial number of your particular phone. And this will be able to give you information about the device that you are having. This is my phone, it has serial number this and this and that. Now, if you go online, there are certain websites that have been available, but if you visit even the UCC website and you punch in this particular number, it will tell you this phone is this make, this particular make, and this kind of make. Now, that helps you quickly to know that, is my phone actually safe in what I am using it for? Is it secure in whatever type of application that I want to use for it? Now, we have also gone ahead to say, let us improve on how these devices look like. Like now, you can see my particular phone. This is a Poco phone. But how do I go ahead to verify it? Now, the telecoms have gone ahead to introduce other approaches that we can integrate in. And I hope they can be able to put some of these probably on the screen with time. The first one we have done is the star hash 06 hash. I don't know if you are able to try it on your particular phone, and you tell me what I
hope I don't receive a shock of a lifetime.
No. You will not receive a shock of your lifetime. You should be able to
yes.
And you have seen
there's some code and
yes. Now that means that probably your phone is dual SIM or single. It is dual SIM or single SIM. Now, depending on this type of phone that we are using, sometimes there are phones that we have found that are not meeting what we call the requirements. They are not approved. They are not approved by different entities, different players. And because these mobile phones are using what we call GSM, the Global System Mobile Application, it enables you now to be able to know if this phone of mine is actually a regulated phone. Sometimes you have a serial number, but when you check, you are holding probably a Techno, but it is showing you are holding a Samsung. And this is where clone devices have started evolving. These different clone devices now are causing more threats. And so it's very important that we ascertain how safe we are working. The other element I wanted to talk about just before, I know our time is fast spent, is the Ponzi scheme. Ponzi schemes are forms of groups where people put you into a group. They tell you if you pay so much money, you are actually going to earn so much. There are those clips, they say, earning millions of money from your home. You know? And so you find that some of these are WhatsApp groups that have been created. I want to caution university students, those who are going to school, you're going to pay your tuition. But someone tells you, if you give me this 2 million, you put it into this platform, you will receive these coins, something of the sort. And after a week, you'll start earning so much money.
Yes.
Many of these groups, you find they don't have physical address. You cannot find these people. You only send money through a mobile platform and you receive a token. They say the money you have sent is equivalent to 10 units. And then afterwards they tell you if you recruit more people under you.
Yes.
That's what we call now. It's more of a network marketing, which you call pyramid scheme. But people have exploited it. So you find thousands of people in this group. They are crying. We sent in 5 million. They told us that we shall get 2 million. Now the money is no more. People have worked with their physical money and deposited it in these groups. Yes. We want to say that if you are depositing, it should be an institution, first of all, that is licensed. And the institutions that are licensed to deal in financial institutions must be licensed by Bank of Uganda.
Now, before I let you go, because time seems to be flying so fast,
yes.
There's also something very common, and I've also ever been a victim, where I'm told my SIM card was involved, a phone registered under my name was involved in a crime. But I have my phone, I've never made any phone call, and I've never participated in that. How do I guard against that? As the person says, but your number, this number is registered in your name. Let's end with that. Yes.
Thank you so much. Now, this is very unfortunate, first and foremost, is what we call privilege escalation, where someone misuses their rights. Sometimes you have gone to register your SIM card.
Yes.
And when you have gone to register your SIM card, you find that maybe the agent tells you to place in your fingerprint because they want to verify your biometric for one SIM card. But at that point, probably you are told that place your finger again. Place it the third time. Unfortunately, you will have generated maybe 3 SIM cards under your identity. Now, when you generate such SIM cards under identity, it means that you will walk away with one
SIM card,
but someone else may remain with others. Now, these are the ones that will be used in the commission of crime. These are the ones that people will now start using. Recently, during a joint effort of the Anti-Fraud Committee with UCC, they started a campaign of Tom Ferrer campaign. If you go on the social media platforms, you will find Tom Ferrer campaigns where people are cautioning you that it is very important that you establish how many SIM cards are under you.
And how do I do that in the interest of time?
In the interest of time, because we have limited time, one is that we have to, you must have your SIM card registered under a particular, your national ID. And we have run some campaigns using particular codes that you can use. One of the critical codes we're encouraging people in this particular campaign is there is a code that we dial. One of them is if you have your phone and you're able to dial star, just a moment, 146 hash. There's a particular code you're able to run. Let me just verify it shortly.
Okay. Yes.
There are quite a number of codes. So I want to be certain that I will give you.
Because many people have fallen victims and you're told your number, a number authorized by you, registered in your names, committed such an offense.
Yes, I have seen.
This is not me, to be honest. Yes, it is my national ID. This information is mine, but I'm not the person.
You are not the person
who committed this offense.
Yes.
And looking at evidence, you're the one. Yet in actual sense, you've never been part of that crime. So that means that the SIM card you're having, your information was registered in a number of SIM cards out there that are committing offenses.
Yes.
So it is very important that if I can know that, well, these people are having my information and having SIM cards containing my information in case they commit an offense, I never authorized them, then that would be something very good to help prevent crime.
Okay, I think I will have to send you a flyer.
Please do, I'll make sure.
Send a flyer so that you can put it up for that particular different code. I need to verify a few things. But it's very important, one, that when you have your national ID that is under your names, it's there is a way you can actually verify these identities. And you can be able to subject this particular check. I'm going to drop you the flyer, and probably we can be able to run the top flyer and be able to tell people to check, because it's a practical thing that you have to do and punch in your name.
After, when I later got in to find out, I had about 6 numbers having my information. I was like, no. But the good thing, telecommunication, then disconnect the rest, and you're able, and also sometimes you make a mistake of allowing people use your documents. You register them, you know, you give them your information, and they have a SIM card that is reading you your information, but they are not the ones. When they commit a crime, it is you. Well, we have to get out of here. Let me have your parting shot in just a minute.
Okay, thank you so much. Those who have been listening to us, we have discussed quite a number of things, but one thing I would like to take away for you is we are as strong as our weakest link. And we should share what we are ready to lose. If we are on these gadgets, they are on the internet, there are many challenges that can be there. But one critical thing is that as the police, we are not sitting back. We have also established particular centers at the Directorate of CID where you can report these incidences. You can call the 99 to support you. There are toll-free lines. And most important of it all is that let us also train, continue learning, continuously learn the things that we are using. Because together, if we collaborate together jointly, we can be able to actually reduce and mitigate the risks. Because we are moving from the 4th to the 5th industrial revolution. Now we have robots that are like human beings that are actually communicating and talking. And so Elon Musk has developed a robot which is like a woman. And so this innovation also poses threats even to the family. So even as our family, let's continue meeting as a family, talking together to our children. Let's not chat. You know, you are in one house, but you cannot talk. You're only talking through phones. Let us come back to humanity so that we can embrace technology and it doesn't run away from us.
Thank you so much, Senior Superintendent of Police, Haguma Jimmy from the Electronic Fraud Department. Thank you so much for your time and, of course, this information. Someone once said, do not let your phone take away your family from you. Talking, sharing is one way you can fight crime together. But also let's have safeguards against such insecurities. Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow, God willing, for God and my country. Good morning.